You know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it. Number one flaws, you don't know ball. We taking advantage of that. Got you Karens asking where the manager at. With no cap, no time for the amateur rap. Look, man, we got dogs all over the depth chart. Monsters on the roster. Straighten up that posture. Rooting out you imposters. Silver bullets in the chamber. And a D-line full of danger. Step back with that linebacker trigger. When he pull it, it'll bang ya. Running backs running downhill. Touchdown on your IG reel. Better check the stats. Buddy, it's straight facts over how you feel. Whenever I speak, I'm giving you more balls than German Village, Short North, and High Street. And you know, the average Joe can do nothing with my flow. It's a waste. Somebody please give his brother an I.O. Come on.
I told y'all before, I need to feel y'all's energy. Stop sitting on y'all hands and get this place lit. Like I said, bring the energy.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. You know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. It's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the...
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Listen, man, the chat for this show is incredible. They was going about like 5:30, y'all. We got a fire chat, man. What up, Stilly Matt? What's good, everybody? Karis Washington, Jim Jackson, the usual suspects. What's up, Barb? How y'all doing, man? I'm excited to get with y'all today. Listen, man, the brother Funky Buck, he will not be able to join us today. He sends his regards like the Lannisters do. But we got some brothers here that you are familiar with, I'm sure. I got my brother Dev and my brother Mello from the Buckeye Boys here to join me for the show today. What's good, fellas?
Chilling, bro. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I've had a great weekend. It's a beautiful Sunday here in the Columbus, Ohio. And so, yeah, man, I'm feeling good. How was y'all's weekends, man? How's things going down south?
Man, Atlanta's good. I got my girl. She came to see me, so we had a great weekend. Showed her a good time. Took her out around the A, showed her what Atlanta was about. And the weather's been good, so I can't complain, man. I'm blessed. That's all I got to say.
That's dope. How about you,
Yeah,
Dev?
Florida, we chilling, man. About to go buy a new house, so that'll get you excited, get you nervous and excited at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more excited than I am anything else. But there's a lot to go into buying a house. You got to think about. But and then we got official visits popping off, and the Buckeye Boys, man, we are obsessed with all things recruiting. So we've been pretty busy backstage here trying to figure out what's going on, but we'll get into that later in the show. Blessed to be here, man. And shout out everybody in the chat. I see y'all.
Yeah, going hard. Yeah, man. And you right about that house buying, brother. I've been in my new home for a year, and listen, especially this market in Columbus, Ohio is insane. Like, you literally got to fight in the back alley to get to the crib you want.
That's Florida.
Yeah, yep. Bro, it's crazy. But anyway, congratulations on that. But so I'll tell you a little bit about my weekend, man. First of all, me and my wife, we just hit 16 years. We just celebrated our 16-year anniversary. That's crazy.
That's exciting.
Listen,
that's exciting, man.
16, you look like you 25, bro.
Hey, I receive the blessing. I receive it even now in Jesus' name. Nah, but listen, I was reflecting. I was like, 16 years, because growing up, man, listen, man, just keep it a buck, in my family and my surroundings, I just didn't see a lot of reflection of long marriages, and I just didn't. So to see that we approaching 20 years is just crazy. So that's dope, man. Shout out to my wife, beautiful person, beautiful mother. I'm blessed. So that was great. We went out, we celebrated, ate good, chilled, kicked it, enjoyed each other. And then on top of that, we, I coach flag football, and our team, we won the charity tournament outside the shoe. Like we had a tournament at outside the Ohio Stadium, and we won the whole joint, y'all. We got the ring, won the championship. What's great about this is the regular season, we got to the championship game in the playoffs, and we lost by what was it, 4 points in a close, tough game to a team we lost to early in the regular season. And so our boys, we were all disappointed, salty. So we really wanted to turn things around. So we got to this tournament and won every game, and we won the championship, man. And so it was one of them things where, as coaches, we had a chance to really point to say, hey, this is how you fight back. Like Curtis Grant say in the song, what you gonna be made of? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Showing them perseverance, how to press through, fight back, lock in, play for your brother, all that stuff, all those little life lessons. It's not just about sports per se, but we're trying to instill, some principles into these boys, man. So as a coach, shout out to Coach Tommy Gunn, the head coach of the team, and Coach Randy, who also assisted us. Great job, fellas. Also, BJ, get over here. I want to have my son show his ring. It's my son, BJ. Did a great job pulling flags and making plays. Say what's up.
What's up?
All right, show your ring.
What up, BJ?
Camera.
Whoa, that thing the size of your head.
How does it feel to be a champion?
Very good. Like, great.
So you know what I need from you, BJ? I need you run it back.
He said you know what he needs from you. What you say?
I need you to run it back again next year.
He said he needs you to run it back again next year. Go get another ring next year. All right.
And like tackling or
I don't know. We're gonna see. All right. You good. Go ahead, BJ.
But you have your ring. Yeah.
Yep, I got my ring right here. Boom. Get ring.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right, thank you. You can go play and Roblox and whatever you want to do now. That's you good. All right, I'll cash app you $3. No, he said for real. He told her like for real. No.
Hey, B Moses, you said it, dude. It's kind of cool, man, because we watched our Buckeyes last year, and one might say the only reason we won is because we lost, and then you're talking about this flag football thing, man. And bro, that's just life in general. It's not about when you succeed. It's honestly about when you fail and what you do after you do that. And I love it, man. I love stories like that.
It's all about resiliency, baby. And that's a way of life. Being in the military, you had to be resilient, especially on deployments, because you see some of your friends not make it home. It's hard to push through the next day, but you have to be resilient. So it's the same thing in football. It transcends all aspects of your life. It's not just sports. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Absolutely, man. These young boys are learning toughness. And just to keep it a buck once again, man, like, I love my dad. We're closer now as I gotten older, but my dad wasn't in the house when I was my son's age. So the coaches of my little league teams were very important as far as having some guidance from men, positive men in my life. But real quick, shout out to Devin, Cooper, TJ, Braylon, Beckett, Chase, James, and Nolan. Those are all the boys here. Coach Gunn and Coach Randy, the picture. Just wanted to show some love and shout them boys out, man, for doing a great job. And also, just really quick before we get into the scum stuff, next week is the hearing. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to get into recruiting. I just wanted to briefly talk about the impact of just having like youth sports. Now, I don't know where you guys started playing. I know, Dev, you play basketball a lot, and Melo, I know you play sports as well. But how impactful was your youth coaches and those men that were in even, I don't know, maybe there was women as well who helped guide you. But how important was that to y'all growing up playing sports?
Super important, man. I mean, when you're a young kid like that, you absorb things like a sponge around you, and your character is built mainly from who you spend time around. And most of the time it's your parents, right? You're going to take after those attributes and stuff. But man, I remember my 7th and 8th grade coach, Rod Pageant. I remember his name. You want to talk about intensity, and he showed me the type of work ethic it takes to succeed in this world. And I mean, even before that, my dad and my best friend's dad, they were our coaches in our all-star basketball team. And That's just what it is. Sports was a huge part of my life growing up, and it taught me a lot. So, you know, if I ever have kids one day, I'm definitely going to be pushing sports their directions, and hopefully that's what they want to do.
So for me, I played 3 sports in my life. I played soccer. That was the first sport I started at when I was 4. I had a coach. I remember his name is Mr. Hooper. I'm still cool with all his sons to this day. Our team was called the Hotspurs after Tottenham Hotspurs over in England. He played in their academy. So he named us after that. The thing with soccer that taught me, because I always been a bigger kid, um, is just to push through the physical barriers and the pain, right? Is keep going. Even when you're hurting, you have to give everything for your teammates, because if you slip, especially me being an outside back playing defense, they're going to score and your team's going to pay for it. And that's going to hurt more than the pain that you're feeling in your side or your legs or whatever. So that was the main thing I took from soccer. And then I transitioned to basketball when I was about 6. And salute to my dad. He's been in my life since I was born, right? So he was my first coach in basketball, along with my best friend, Mr. Manning. So we played AAU. We traveled a lot. True story, got dunked on by J.R. Smith back in 8th grade, and Victor Cruz. That team was nasty. Tim Thomas pure players. They beat us in the state championship. So we finished 2nd in Jersey. They finished 1st. That it got pretty ugly. And then I didn't start playing football till high school. And Coach Frauenheim, rest in peace, he just passed away. He's a legend. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was a quarterback at Rutgers. He produced Theo Reddick, who played at Notre Dame, also played in the NFL, running back. And he was very instrumental in my life. He changed the way I viewed life, right? Growing up in a more diverse area, he opened up my eyes to new avenues and new lifestyle. He also guided me, right? Even though my dad was always in my life, you spend more time with your coaches, and he was also the head principal, right? So I spent more time with him than I did my own parents for the most part. So he was a pretty big, important aspect of my life. And all this prepared me for when I joined the military, because that's the ultimate team sport, the team concept.
Yeah.
We deployed, you already know, we went to war. So like that's the ultimate. Like there's no coming back, there's no respawn, there's not Call of Duty, it's not a video game. So you have to be on point, you have to know your job, you have to know the other person's job, and you rely on each other just to come home safe. So sports did a lot for me. My kids play sports. My daughter's going on a full scholarship for soccer out in California. And after next year, she'll be a senior. So it's a testament. So it also keeps you out the street, right? I think everybody should put their kids in sports. It'll raise your grades. My daughter has a 4.0. She's never gotten lower than A's since 2nd grade, or straight A's since then. And it's done everything in my life, from me to my children. So I salute anybody, and I suggest if you have kids, put them in sports, man.
Amen. Bro. That was a great message. All of that. It's so true. And listen, we're not saying if you don't play sports, you're not a great kid or you're not or whatever. We're just kind of testifying to what we've experienced. This is young B. Moses right here in this picture, number 20. I was 11 years old at the time. I played receiver and safety for a team called the Eastland Vikings here in Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to Eastland Vikings. My coaches were Coach Burton, Coach Johnson. Listen, great experience. I absolutely loved it. My 2 sports was basketball and football. And so, that was pretty much 1A, 1B. It flip-flopped on any day. Most people know me as a hooper. I was 5'9" my freshman year, and I shot up in like literally over the summer. I'm 6'4" now. I shot up to 6'3" or so over the summer, like from my sophomore year to my junior year. So, it's just crazy. But yeah, it's funny because my son kind of looks like me a little bit in that picture. But yeah, so anyway, just saying, I love sports as well. It's not just about wins or losses and all that, but it's just, it helped me, man. It really helped me too. Like, listen, man, going to Barnett Recreation Center after school every day, hooping, kept me out of trouble too. Y'all know Eastside Columbus folks, y'all know what's really good. Like, listen, man, it's important. and we appreciate it. So I just wanted to shout out to my boys for winning that flag football tournament, and just kind of, you know, talk about how important sports can be, even if you don't play a snap of Division I football or NFL or NBA, whatever. Just playing sports in itself can be so helpful just for your upbringing. That's the message. So, amen.
B Moses, I need to add something to that, just a real short message too, especially this day and age, with the amount of things and that are out there for, you know, young boys and girls to do, right? The social media stuff, everything that they have access to. I think they got it pretty darn hard. And, you know, as a kid, you're gonna spend a lot of time doing something. And is that something going to benefit you? In sports is one of those things where it benefits you in so many ways: your health, your grades, your, you know, all of that stuff. It teaches you life lessons versus, are you going to spend a lot of times playing video games and stuff like that? Like, there's all these things out there for kids to choose to do. You know, and they got it pretty hard, and sports is a pretty good one to go to, right? Because you're going to spend your time doing something. You're going to idolize something in your life. It's going to happen. Might want to pick something that's going to give you some good life lessons at a young age. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what's going on, man.
That's a great point. That's a great point, because let's be real. We did not have, I know I'm the one that's a little longer in the tooth than everyone here on this panel, but we did not have social media and all that when I was my son's age. We didn't have internet. Like, we had internet. I'm not gonna act like I'm like 80 years old out here, but we didn't have like freaking IG, Facebook, and TikTok. We ain't had none of that stuff.
Thank God.
You know what I mean? And then of course gaming, like the Twitch. I mean, like, it's just a whole new world of distractions and things. So that's a great point, Dev. Bro, because me and my dudes joke a lot. Shout out to my dude Cam Bray. He was like, man, he was like, I don't know if you know where I would be if I grew up in today's world as a kid. You know, just talking about all the like temptations and pressures and things you have at your fingertips is crazy. Because social media is crazy. Because you know what? It's a good segue to talk about how stupid and idiotic and buffoonery, how much buffoonery we see from these scum fans on social media, running their mouth, acting like nothing's gonna happen. Segue. Nah, but yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that. Next weekend is the hearing, June 6th and 7th. Is the hearing. And so we have to. Now, again, I know we have some people who push back, like, nothing's going to happen. Why do you keep talking about this, right? Even within our own fan base, ignorantly. They're just uninformed. And, of course, scum fans, they're fighting us tooth and nail. You know, they're using all types of deflection tactics to get us to shut up. You know how people will say stuff, but their intent is to get you to stop saying what you're saying? Like, whoever made that AI meme with the Michigan fan crying with the sign that says "Stop reminding us that we cheated" is a genius, because that's exactly what we're seeing. And it's funny, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw the video I clipped from last week's podcast where I was talking about the ad hominem attacks, and I was talking about Justin Spiro. And it's so funny, on my page, all of my pages. Guess what we saw in the comments? Ad hominem attacks and all types of everything but addressing the point. Even had people talking about, here you go, spreading false information again. I'm like, dude, I literally have the receipts on the screen. I have the article with the quotes from the NCAA person on the screen, bro. Like, what are you even talking about right now? So with some people, here's another big word, a big phrase for some people: cognitive dissonance. Okay, if you don't know what that is, go look that up. And I'm not being condescending. Listen, I haven't always known what ad hominem attacks was. You know, I didn't really start knowing that till I started watching debates years ago, and you know, and stuff like that. The point is, it doesn't matter. Like, people aren't looking for truth per se. They're looking for confirmation. They're looking for a Linus Blanky, and that's why we keep snatching it away. So anyway, fellas, as we kind of get ready for this hearing, what have y'all been seeing on social media? What have y'all been dealing with? Can you concur with my vex? How y'all feeling about this?
I'll start with this, man. That you know, I've known a lot about Jim Harbaugh, done some research, but Justin Spiro seems to pull a lot of things out of the
Oof.
out of the safe for Jim
Yes.
Harbaugh. And you look at how the scum fan base looks at Jim Harbaugh, their hero, their rescuer. I mean, idolize him, want statues built, the whole 9 yards. Let me start with this. The book of James says a double-minded man is unstable as the waves of the ocean and unstable in all of his ways, right? Well, when you look at Jim Harbaugh, there's a theme that he has in his speeches and in his diatribes that he gives to his teams and graduating classes, and it's integrity, right? It's integrity and telling the truth. He always has a portion of that in whatever he's trying to get across to people. Well, I mean, I don't even know if I need to go any further. You guys get my point. He got caught lying to the NCAA. He continues to lie. He ran to the NFL. So you can kind of see based off we judge a tree by the fruit that it grows, not the words that it says, right? Not the leaves that it has coming off of it. You got to look at his actions, and his actions show that they do not match up to the words that he says. Okay. So that's who these people are idolizing in all of this. And when you take a step back in all of these things, you ask yourself, how can so much go on inside of a program that is just, it's disgusting, honestly, because it starts with the leader. And there is an underground, like rooted issue in all of this: characters, morals, beliefs, all of those things. And that's just the truth about it. I am not a perfect human being. I have character flaws that the Lord works on me for every single day. But too many times, right, I tried to blame I tried to act like it was for instance, like a drug addiction problem, when in fact it was a spiritual problem inside. And the truth about all this is, man, is that this affected people's lives, and it was cheating. So it's way more than football. So they want to focus on these superficial aspects of it, when the truth of the reality is that those fans out there that still call people losers and idiots and this and that, when we have the facts in front of us, facts, not opinion, facts, right? It goes back to, okay, who are these people morally? Who are they? It's messed up to act like cheating like this and affecting kids' lives and coaches' lives like this isn't a big deal. It's messed up. I just call it how I see it. It's messed up. And I've been there before, so I'm not sitting here calling you some horrible person, but you might want to check yourself. If you're acting like all this is no big deal, everything's fine, Ohio State just has a problem with us, it wasn't that big a deal, you might want to check yourself. You might want to back up, go in a dark corner somewhere and ask yourself who you are as a person, if you're thinking that the way that they cheated and everything going on inside that program is instilling so much negativity into this world that's already full of a world that we need positive reinforcements, especially with the future of this country, which is college students. And you're a huge university allowing these things to go on and feeding your fan base to allow these things to go on, because they're having their beat drop all these, the bet, though, we're going to sue the NCAA, where you try to suspend Jim Harbaugh. What kind of lesson does that teach all of your fan base? So it's really no wonder their fan base reacts the way they are, because it starts at the head. This university is spreading these things and causing these issues and putting negativity in this world. So screw football and the wins on the field and all that stuff. Let's back it up to what really matters, and that's the morality of all of these things that are going on. I'm sorry, you're not going to like hearing the truth, but that's just the truth of the matter. And I didn't change till somebody told me the truth, and that's the truth. This thing's a big deal, right? It affects people's lives, their livelihoods. It affects how they think about themselves, how they look at themselves, right? When you lose a game because you were cheated and you didn't know you were cheated, I mean, that's going to mess with you, especially if you're a college football athlete. You're a young man trying to develop as a human being, and this happened to you in your life and you didn't know it until later. Dude, the world's hard enough as it is, and you're sitting here adding these things into the equation. Bro, you just got sorry I went on this diatribe, but it's like, dude, at some point in time, man, just tell it how it is. Good, you better check the morality that you live by if you are still pressing the issue that this isn't a big deal, because it is.
Not this fan base. Go ahead, Mello.
Absolutely. So I see Amber in the chat. Salute to Amber. I follow her on X, and she posted the EA cover sport, right? And then with JJ and with Ryan Williams, right? And you have Team Up North fans all on her mentions talking about how JJ and Ryan Williams didn't do anything, and they both lost to the Team Up North.
Oh,
And I
yeah, I
mean,
saw that.
Team Up North has been irrelevant until they cheated in terms of the recency of history of college football. So for them to try to flex against two of the two best programs in the history of college football, they are the standards. Bama and Ohio State are the standard for college football, regardless of how you feel. And any other fan base that's out there, I'm sorry, but the truth hurts. And that just goes to show, just like Dev touched on, that it starts from the leadership at the Team Up North, all the way to President Ono, who just ran into Florida, took basically a less prestigious job just to get out of there before all the smoke clears and hits. He knows what's coming. He's trying to get ahead of it just like everybody else. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it doesn't really matter. Charmin Moore is going to be holding the bag at the end of the day. And I used to feel bad for the man, especially when he was crying on national TV, making us look soft and stuff. But like, he deserves it. He was a part of the problem. He's a part of that cesspool in Ann Arbor. And it's not just football, brother. It's across the entire athletic department. Look at the gymnastics scandal that happened. Look at what happened with the hockey team. Look at Juwan Howard and what he did, right? The nepotism up there, the arrogance up there that they can do whatever they want. Just like he said, you have a president of a university trolling the NCAA with bet. Like, where do they do that at, right? You're supposed to be the head of that institution, and you're talking about bet. No wonder your fan base is so delusional and thinks nothing's going to happen, but they've been wrong at every turn. You have dudes like Chris Bayless still running around spreading that the narrative that Zach Smith and Chris Drew started when they said they were joking about Ryan Day's brother being the private investigator that broke all this news. He literally just tweeted that last Thursday that there's still something to it. Right. This is a beat writer for the Team Up North pushing that Ryan Day's brother is the PI that started all these problems. And Team Up North fans and everybody else is wondering, like, why are they so delusional? This is why. Look who they're watching. And it was behind the paywall, brother. That's what makes it even worse. You're paying for this information.
You're paying for this trash.
It's ridiculous. And the one thing, I could understand it coming from Team Up North fans, right? You don't want to think like your program's about to get nuked, right? But it's the Buckeye fans that are like compassionate to the Team Up North and like, oh, we don't care that it happened. We don't care. Nothing's going to happen. And then they're in all the chats trolling with Massive. But Scoop has been right about this every step of the way, right? You can go pull up the receipts. YouTube videos are here forever. You can go back. Just keep going back and you're going to see. Now, were they always accurate 100% with the timeline? No. But in terms of what was going to happen, they were 100% accurate. That's just a fact. And it's just weird to me that you have Buckeye fans out here doing that. But then they get mad at Ohio State fans that say, okay, we lost the game, but I'd rather win a natty. And they're like, oh, but the game is more important than the natty. But you get mad at us for not caring about the game as much, but you don't care that they cheated and stole probably a Heisman, definitely a Heisman from CJ, maybe another natty from us. You don't care that they screwed Marvin Harrison Jr.? Like, what are we talking about? I wonder about some people in our own fan bases, right?
Yeah, no, that's good, man. Listen, it frustrates me because everything y'all saying is 100% true and reasonable and logical and fair and all the other stuff, but it just doesn't matter to these idiots. I'm sorry. Like, look, I'm a nice guy. A lot of y'all know me. I'm a nice guy. I'd rather have a good, fruitful, substance-filled conversation with people. But running a page that I run on Facebook, I got 41,000 followers now, which is great. Thank God for that, all that. But it also comes with massive trolls. You're talking about massive. It comes with some of the worst idiots and some of the worst inboxes. And just dealing with just ignorance is it can be taxing at times because it's hard to really take anybody seriously. Just because how they act. Exhibit A. This is from a scum fan on my page. It says, um, yes. So this is one of my followers talking about the hearing. Like, hey, y'all talking about that's going to happen. Don't you know there's a hearing coming up, a final hearing? Like, it usually doesn't get this far if nothing's going to happen. You do know that, right? And their response was, yes, there has to be a hearing. You think that just because there's a hearing that something's actually going to happen to Michigan? This is when the NCAA gets put in their place for trying to crucify a university with zero evidence. That's a real quote, y'all, from my page. And that's just one, okay? Just one. And so I'm also going to share my screen so I can show y'all this quote. This cat on Twitter, and I don't even know who he is, but I followed him off of this post because it was so good. Y'all probably can't see it. I'll read it. He says, so let me get this straight in your mind. The NCAA has summoned 8 senior executives, members of the COI, Committee on Infractions. Number 2, and admin. Number 3, to sit for a 2-day hearing in June on a weekend to hear no evidence, in quotes, and issue a 2-game suspension to a head coach who did nothing wrong and has a clown icon with pure Michigan. I mean, that's just so well said. It's just it's either you are. There's only a few options, fellas, and those listening and watching. You are either being intellectually dishonest with yourself and others, or you just have an extremely low IQ, like you lack comprehension, or I'll throw a third one in there. You're brainwashed by your cult. I don't know what else to say. I just don't. I don't. So it's ridiculous. It's frustrating and irritating. The only silver lining that I can think of, fellas, from a fan standpoint and just from our own enjoyment of seeing, our rivals squirm, is that they've dug themselves such a hole. Like none of them are really hedging. It's literally dying on the hill of nothing is going to happen. And the facts and logic is on our side, y'all. We've put out so many receipts and reminded them of things and pointed to things and Tony Patini's letter and look, this says you can vacate wins if you're. We've done all of that, and they still want to gaslight themselves and others, like Justice Bureau likes to say. It's ridiculous. So anyway, with that said, Judgment Day is looming, y'all. Next week is the hearing. So for those who don't follow this as much as we do, I understand that, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to hold it down for you and make sure you get all the facts. The hearing next week, because some people say stuff like the hammer comes next week. It does not. Okay, that's just the hearing. It's a 30 to 45-day process after that of when they'll actually release the sanctions. Okay, so July-ish, mid to early July-ish maybe, is what we're looking at. Okay. So anyway, fellas, anything else you want to say on that? Your response to anything I said?
Yeah, real fast. I mean, that list you pulled up of that person that responded, all genuine facts and stuff. But the funny thing is I can tell you the response of that fan base to this tweet. The response is going to be 13-10. 3-year Big Ten champ, whatever. Like it's back to the same stuff every single time, so it's just wild. And the difference is that we talk about these Ohio State fans, a few of them out there that like to, do that, kind of be on their side, to be friends with these fans that believe these things. There's very few of those, and there's very few fans like that in every fan base, the crazy ones, right, that just kind of do their own thing. But when you switch to the other side, the scum, these people that we're talking about, the no evidence people, it's not a small amount of them. It's like
at all.
The majority of their fan base are the ones that just don't pay attention to the facts and logic and all that stuff. On our side, yes, we have some that do the same thing, but it is the minority. It's the opposite for their fan base. It's very comical. Yes. Steely, yeah, you already know.
Yeah, they're the lunatic majority, not the lunatic fringe. That's what they are. I mean, they're
like
all.
that.
Listen, I've known this fan base all my life. I've told y'all before, living here in Columbus, Ohio, unfortunately, and I don't have the numbers to prove it. I might have somebody do some independent research for me, but I feel like we have some of the, for a school that has rivals, like, okay, let Auburn and Alabama, they're both in the same state, so they don't count. But let's say what's another big cross state rivalry? Y'all down south. What's a Georgia, Florida? That's a good.
It's not the same though.
No.
Texas,
It's not the same. Nothing's the
Texas,
same.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Perfect. Those are two examples. Nothing is going to touch the rivalry. But I'm saying, as an example of what the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like here in Ohio, and people who are born and raised here, Buckeyes, could probably agree with me. It seems like we have the most contrarian trolls here who, at least in the 90s, and some of them are just kind of still hanging on to their scum fandom of basically being anti-Ohio State here in Ohio, and especially Columbus. I'm saying that, like, compared to other cross-state rivalries, I could be wrong, but I doubt it's as bad in Georgia, where, in Athens, you got all these Florida fans who are there to troll the locals because they like to troll the locals. That's where a lot of our fans, our Michigan fans here in Columbus, they just got a kick out of trolling Ohio State fans and hating the home team. And so I'm just wondering if Texas and Oklahoma is similar anywhere close. I don't think it is, because it's just running rampant here. So anyway, I say that to say I've been around this fan base all my life. They're annoying. They're ridiculous. They can't be reasoned with. They did all of that cheating because we were just clubbing them like the baby seal that they are for 20 straight years. And so, to the point where Harbaugh was about to get fired, and they just said, forget it. We're going to do whatever it takes to get off the schneid. And they cheated their way to turning this rivalry around, in a false way, of course. And so now this is another thing, Mello, that you said, like Buckeye Scoop. And I know for myself, I've been telling y'all from the very beginning what they're going to do. They're going to fight this off with all type of gaslighting, with all type of spin and deflection. And they're going to fight tooth and nail to the very end to cling to this natty and to these wins. That's what they were going to do. We're in the midst of that. We've been dealing with that. No matter what facts are presented, it does not matter, because they're so desperate. They were so destitute. They were so starving, so miserable, getting their teeth kicked in for 2 decades straight, that they were willing to do anything to get wins. And now they're willing to do anything and say anything to hang on to their fraudulent natty to the very bitter end. I mean, it's going to be to the bitter end. Even when it does get taken away, they're still going to resort to another tactic. They'll never, Devin, like everything you said was like preacher good, like Sunday sermon good, but they don't care. They don't care about that. They're delusional. And it's frustrating, because I hate, intellectual dishonesty, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we know they cheated. The NCAA will make it plain and clear once they put their findings out that they cheated, and all of that will be fraudulent. Nobody outside of Ann Arbor will respect that mess. Rant over for now.
I got to ask you guys a question. And B. Moses, I know can I ask a question, or do you want to move on?
Oh, no, we got time, because we can finish the last 25 minutes or so with recruiting. We good.
Yeah. So as long as we don't turn this in, this could go on for a while, but we can avoid that. But last year's win, 13-10, right? I personally, I give it to them, right?
Sure.
But what I will not say is that their cheating had no effect on that game. You just got to think about it, right? What is the foundation of a football program? Recruiting, right? How do teams recruit better? Do you think winning a national title boosted up their recruiting, winning the national title, right? Yes, it did. The transfer portal, the money coming in, all that.
Yeah.
That was the team they played with last year. How many of those players would not be on that team if they didn't go win the national title in the Big Ten and all those things? And again, I still give it to them, just because I don't want to be called as one of those friends. I want to be able to show that, hey, I'm logically thinking here. But still, the fact remains is that they did gain an advantage for last year's game because they cheated. That's a fact. That's not up for debate, right? And then you ask yourself, when you were in school, if you ever got caught cheating on a test, did the teacher say, well, I only saw you cheating on the last 2 questions, so I'll just mark those 2 wrong,
Right.
and we'll give you credit on the rest. No, you failed the whole thing. So even if they had a 0.1% advantage because of their cheating, it's still cheating that affected. Now, I say all that, and I still give it to them because I think we should have smashed him anyway, right?
Yep.
But I do need to know from your guys' perspective. What's your guys' perspective? What's your guys' thoughts on that? Do you share those thoughts or
You
no?
want to go first, Mello?
Yeah. I'm gonna be real short and sweet and to the point. Yeah, I second everything you said. There's no need for me to even touch on that. For me, what was the psychological effect of that cheating on Coach Day? You see, every other game, he's a killer, right? He's coming for your throat. He's Michael Jordan out there on the sideline. But that game, something happens to him. Why? Because they cheated. So it had a psychological effect on Coach Day. So it affected him directly. So I think that was almost even bigger than them getting recruits and all that and the money coming in, because it changed the way he coached. He started second guessing himself. He started triple guessing himself, right? And it shows up on the field. When he knows Will Howard probably shouldn't have went back in, you should have got Devin Brown. He's like, nah, we have to win this, and we're still going to win it. And he's our best chance. We're going to put him in, even if he's not 100%, because I trust him that much, and we have to have that win. So psychologically, if that didn't happen, they weren't cheating, does he still come with the same game plan? Is he still doing the same things that he did in that game, right? If that makes sense to you guys.
Definitely makes sense. First of all, great question, Dev. And I've mentioned this. I've talked about this and touched on this before, but this is a great reminder bringing this back up because, yes, listen, we lost that game fair and square in my Charlie Baker voice, my out of context quote Charlie Baker voice in November. We lost the game, and I was there in the stadium. And listen, I've talked about this in the podcast. I watched that game way too many times. People think I'm a glutton for punishment, but I just like to understand what actually happened and not just listen to what people said happened. But anyway, X's and O's aside, psychologically, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Remember in 2019, we went up to Ann Arbor and smashed him. Okay, yeah. with Ryan Day. Now, some people who hate Ryan Day and don't want to give him any credit will try to say, well, that was Urban Meyer's team. Okay, listen. First of all, I never buy into that because you still have to coach a team and lead them. Okay, yes, you don't, if you didn't recruit the players, that's great that the previous coach set you up, but you still have to coach and put them in positions to win. That's one. Number two, Urban Meyer didn't bring in Justin Fields. Okay, remember that was Justin Fields' first year. That was a Ryan Day acquisition from Georgia. So you got to give him credit for that. So anyway, we went up there and smashed him. 2020, Steve Diaz. Shout out to Intrinsic. Make sure you follow Intrinsic on Twitter. Great follow. He does a great job pulling receipts and all the other stuff with this scandal. And he pulled the receipt of Steve Diaz. And it's not AI like some of you idiots are saying. It's real that he admitted that, yes, they did duck in 2020. They could have played and that they ducked. Okay. So for those of y'all who take Steve Diaz as gospel whenever he says something, take him as gospel now. Okay. So you gotta take that into account because we would have smashed him. The whole drop 100 on you quote was from that game. In response, listen to me because some of y'all are just uninformed. Harbaugh's goofy tail was on a call. Now, listen, this is not some rumor. The media is also on these calls. You know that, right? It's one of them calls where the coaches are on there, and Harbaugh tried to accuse Ryan Day of cheating in practice or practicing too long or something stupid like that. And so Ryan Day obviously was pissed off by that. And so that's when he said, we're going to drop 100 on them because he knew their team sucked, first of all, and it was going to be bad, but fueled by that comment with Harbaugh. So there's that. They ducked us in 2020, then came back 2021 and started the cheating. So Ryan Day talks about how, remember the quote that people were shocked by when he said it was like recently with Nicole Auerbach, he said it's like a death in the family, and he talked about like this. The only thing close to that was losing his dad, right? Yeah. So you talk about psychological, bro. Like that's heavy. Everybody knows about his story, the mental health stuff. A lot of it comes from the trauma from his dad, and he's putting it up there with that. Not to mention some of our ridiculous lunatic fringe fan base who go way too far and threaten him and his wife and family. Like y'all think these players and coaches are just robots that you can just play EA Sports? They're in the game and they don't have actual, feelings, emotions, and concerns and fears. And like, what are you talking about right now? So yes, the cheating, losing that game, even without cheating, is hard enough, let alone with the cheating and the psychological effect. I absolutely believe that Ryan Day was affected in that game this past season with all that built up psychological trauma from losing that game and everything that came with losing that game. And remember, y'all talk about Ryan Day thinking like, man, in the game, I think it was you, Dev, who was I'm sorry, Mello, that was talking about how he was just feeling. Remember when Shiano at halftime was perplexed and baffled when he was being interviewed? Like, something's going on out there. I don't know what it is. Something's going on. Can you imagine Coach Day? And I know this for a fact. The coaches know they cheated. They know they're waiting for the hammer because they know what's going on. Okay. But think about the second half of the Michigan game. We held them to not, and when CJ Stroud was here at home, I think it was 2022. And we held them to 9 yards rushing in the first half. And then in the second half, we saw what happened. This was during the game, we didn't know what was going on, but we saw what happened. And that was like, hold on. Now it makes sense. Anyway, just imagine all of that going through his head. I really believe that contributed to us falling short last year. There were some other things that happened. I'm not going to go into it. We ain't got time. From an X's and O's standpoint, we shouldn't have lost that game. But the pressure of that game, I definitely believe really took a toll on Ryan Day. But it don't matter. We won the ship. So I'm feeling great. I'm just saying. Sorry, that was long-winded, but that was a great question, Dev. So, yeah. So, listen, we're going to go ahead and transition to recruiting. But I want to shout out to Mickey. Thank you for the $19.99. I appreciate you so much. They just come through. When I be looking at the comments and stuff, boom, the Mickey 1999 bomb drops. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. And that's beautiful. Always nice to see. Thank you. And then I got a super chat from John A. Thanks for the $9.99. People underestimate the amount of pressure more than the rest of coaching will be under with this hanging over their head. I expect the school to clean house. Great show, guys. We're gonna see. I mean, I feel like if they do clean house, it'll be because they're forced to. I mean, because their administration has shown no remorse. They've shown nothing to, suggest that they care. I mean, Ono, they really didn't clean house with Ono. It's almost just like they're being forced to by default. So I'm wondering what's going to happen because if Sherrod Moore gets first of all, y'all tell me this. If he gets a year show cause, I mean, they have to get rid of him at that point, right? Because, and I still haven't got the straight answer. Can you actually coach with a show cause, or is it a situation that you just can't go anywhere else because of the show cause? That's kind of my question that's still lingering. But what y'all got on this super chat?
Yeah, I think he's gone. But that's a great question you just asked. I've always wondered that too. I was always under the impression you get a show cause, you can still coach at the school that you're currently coaching at now. It's just if you end up leaving that school, but then that kind of wouldn't make any sense. That's not really a punishment for him then, because it's like dude's already got a job. So it's like,
right.
I don't know, but I would love to. But I think he's gone anyway. I think Sherrod Moore is gone anyway. That once this punishment comes out, they're going to have to evacuate and rebuild, right? And they're not going to want anybody left over from that crowd. And Sherrod Moore knew exactly what was going on. He took part in it. You might as well put him right beside Connor Stallions because, I mean, cheating is cheating. Whether you did it 99 out of 100 times or 1 out of 100 times, you are a cheater. Sherrod Moore, you can put him beside Connor Stallions in the realm of, hey, morality, should he be around? Did he cheat? Whatever. You deleted text. You shouldn't delete text. You broke a rule. And not only that, you're the offensive coordinator and somebody's cheating and stealing the signs and you're going to act like you didn't know the whole time. Really?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
So for me, I mean, repeat offender, lack of institutional control. This is the smoking gun, like no pun intended, but they're gonna take him out back to the pastures and just put him down. He's done. They're gonna get rid of him. I do believe they're gonna clean house. They we have to be honest, even as Ohio State fan. The team up north is a prestigious job, right? So after all the smoke clears, you get your punishment, whatever that may be. We have a pretty good idea here over at Scoop what that's going to be. After all that clears, there's not going to be a shortage of coaches without that hanging over their head anymore. That's going to be lined up for this job. And
True.
then at that point, that's the point where I'll start worrying about the team up north, right? Like legitimately, because they get the right coach there. They could really legitimately turn that program around. They have money, they have big donor base, and you could get the fan base excited. But yes, I think they're gonna smoke and clear house. I think Shamar Moore days are long gone.
Yeah. Well, let Scum fans tell it. It's just gonna be. Matter of fact, it might not even be 2 games because they gonna show up to the hearing with double guns like Yosemite Sam. And get out of here, man! You're idiots. But yes, listen. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I just know their arrogance, and I could see them holding off and then being forced by public pressure to do it, as opposed to just doing the right thing. They haven't done the right thing this whole time, and so we can transition to recruiting. But one last thing I'll say about this, and maybe I'll do this again on another show, because for those of you Scum fans who are saying this did not matter, comparing it to Tattoo Gate and trying to say that what Michigan didn't have that much of an advantage, you're either exposing yourself as a non-ball knower or, again, intellectually dishonest. If you know anything about the game of football, knowing somebody's plays and what they're going to run, even if it's just limited to just pass or run, is ridiculously just powerful as far as an advantage. Like, what's the point of play action then? What's the point of, if you know the screen is coming, then your linebackers aren't going to bite. Stop playing with me, Smokey. You know that it matters. We're going to do that we're going to cover that. I might even show film or something on the show, but I'm not going to let y'all get that off. Okay. So anyway, let's transition because we got to come to a close in about 20 minutes. We want to talk about this big recruiting weekend. All right. And we got the right boys on the show to talk about it with the Buckeye boys, man. So listen, let's start off with Felix Ojo. I want y'all to talk about what y'all got coming up with him and just kind of talk about what y'all hearing about this weekend. I believe he's still here, unless he's it's a little late. He might have headed home. But big recruiting weekend here in Columbus. Beautiful weekend weather-wise, all of that. Perfect. And so what y'all hearing about Felix and what y'all got going on with him?
Mel, you want to start off? You want me to go?
You start off, brother.
Well, I am going to hold off on giving any information on Felix Ojo other than what I've already given, and the fact that the Buckeyes are in this race, whether you want to believe it or not, because Felix Ojo will be on the Buckeye Boys on the Buckeye Scoop channel tomorrow at 6. And trust me when I tell you, we will be asking him all the questions that you guys want the answers to. Another player that I'm not going to talk about either is Jake Krull, the 5-star defensive end, because he's coming on the Buckeye Boys Tuesday at 8:45 p.m.
Nice.
But as far as needle movers, right? Official visits, you want to know, hey, did the needle get moved or not? I will tell you the information I have. The number one player where the needle moved the most would be Aaron Thomas, the 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackle out of Arizona that trains with Charles Bentley. Been on the Buckeye Boys a couple times. I was talking back and forth with him today. He will be coming on the Buckeye Boys if he commits to the Buckeyes, he said. And he said he's got a cool story to tell Buckeye Nation. So read that, what you like there.
Sounds good.
And then the other one, man, that the needle got moved big time is not talked about much. Interior offensive lineman from IMG, Breck College. He's like a top 200-ish 4-star interior offensive lineman, 6'5", 300 pounds. Buckeyes told him he could play anywhere on the offensive line. there's people saying the needle got moved more for him than Aaron Thomas, but I'm just giving you the information that I personally have, like myself. And that's what that is. I know Xavier Griffin, Buckeyes gave him a lot to think about as well. So I'm still waiting on some like Luke Waffle intel, some Cameron Brickle intel, but that's the only information I currently have now. I expect tomorrow to big time. Mac Sutter, the tight end.
Hearing good things about him.
Yeah, big time. He might be up there with the needle being moved as well. And cool story, Corbin Fordham, right? Our current tight end commit, his dad played at FSU. Well, so did Aaron Thomas's dad, and they were teammates together. So they had a nice, cool little interaction during the official visit. So
Nugget alert.
Hopefully I just didn't tell the story that he was going to tell Buckeye Nation. But anyway, Mello, what you got?
Nice.
All right, so the only thing I will go in on is Xavier Griffin. I'm right here. I know people that directly know him for a fact. I will say this. Before the OV, Ohio State was not in the race at all. Like, you could take it however you want it. It was down to Alabama and Texas, and that's directly out of his mouth to ears that I trust 100%, that I've known for years. I'm interested to see his opinion coming out of this visit, right? Because his mom seemed to have loved her experience, but who doesn't love Columbus, right? You can't compare Tuscaloosa to Columbus. They're uncomparable. I promise you. I've been to both. They're not even in the same stratosphere. So, of course, they're going to love Columbus. But also, I know that for Ohio State, Tyler Atkinson is their number one linebacker on the board, right? And the last time he spoke publicly, Ohio State was his leader. I know they got a substantial NIL package for him as well. So I want to see how James Laurinaitis and Matt Patricia are going to navigate this, because, you know, we want Sincere Johnson as well. Continue that pipeline, and plus Sincere, in my opinion, right? This is my opinion. I haven't seen Sincere play in person. I think he's just as good as Xavier Griffin. No doubt about it, in my opinion. I think you can't go wrong with either one of them. I think they both do similar things. So I want to see how they're going to prioritize that, because Xavier Griffin's going to command a lot of money as well, right? Sincere is going to command a lot of money. Sincere just left Bama this weekend. So I want to hear about how his visit went with Bama, because honestly, we got to keep this fence built around the state of Ohio, but especially around Glenville. That has been the most loyal program to Ohio State. We cannot lose that pipeline. It's imperative that they continue that pipeline. And on that note, can I share something, Dev? With your
Yes.
So everybody was worrying about JJ Perez and his commitment to UF. He's still committed, but he didn't shut down his visits. He's taking his visit. He just told us today he will be in Columbus for the June 15th, and he's taking his visit. So that's always good news. He's a Glenville kid. I expect him to still be in his class. So we put out a boys boom for JJ to be in this class, and I'm still not switching that.
I know you like that, Dev, right? I know you're a big Perez fan.
I love it. Yeah, I'm very surprised I forgot to share that. But yeah, Buckeye boys and Jameer Perez have grown very close during this time. And the other thing I forgot to mention is Epi Citinelli is on campus now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Listen, Buckeye Nation, I mean, please show this guy some more love, because everybody talks about Zion Grady. This dude was a top 150 player in the nation. He was a top 10 defensive end, and nobody has ever mentioned that we signed Epi Citinelli. Well, they do, but I don't hear him talk about him much. It's because he's not on campus. I get it, but be prepared. Me and his dad, very tight relationship. He texted me today. We've been talking all day. Send me videos of Epi and all that, and he's been on Buckeye Boys. This dude is elite, and he will be elite. Nothing will stop him. His faith is 100% in the Lord and the Lord alone. And you can just, if you talk to him and you've seen his interviews, you know that he will not be stopped at Ohio State. So, but yeah, JJ Perez, that's big time news. He reached out to us today just to let us know that. So something happened today. I'm going to get to the bottom of what happened that made him kind of have that switch in his mind, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. Deb, both of y'all, really. I'm confident with you that we're still going to get. Look, we're going to get in his ear. We're going to pull him to the side. We're gonna be like, look, do you see this, bro? Like, listen, I know Hollywood looks nice out there. It sounds nice, but dog, come on. Are you stop playing? So yeah, I think we're going to end up getting him as well. And then also real quick on Epi. Now, Dev mentioned that Buckeye Boys interviewed him. I had the pleasure of coming along for that interview. I was a part of that show.
Yeah.
And that kid is just so impressive. And yes, for some reason, man, he's just nobody talks about him. He flies under the radar. And go watch his film. Look at the school he came from. He's a dog, and he comes from a great family, very mature, all of that stuff. And also, Dev, remind him and his pops if they need any resources, any information, need any help. I'm here in Columbus,
Gotcha.
Whatever. Just remind them of that. But great kid. But anyway, one kid that I did not hear mentioned is your boy Hyder, the running back. So, because first of all, Scum fans still think they have a serious shot. I don't think they do. I think it's Tennessee, Ohio State, and what's the third possible team?
Georgia.
What? Georgia, yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. So
well,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, like what I heard. The reason why I didn't share is because he plays things very close
to the vet. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
And even Ohio State couldn't get a real good read on him, right? And nobody's ever had like a super good read on him. No intel sites, no recruiting sites, no interviews, no nothing. He plays it very close to the chest and hides his emotions well. He's just a straightforward type of dude. So that's why there's really nothing. Things remain the same. Like always, Ohio State is in the race, like big time, but it's going to be one of those. I don't think anybody is really going to know.
So hold on. Let me ask you then, both of y'all, because yes, that's the consistent thing. He, keeps things tight. So what has been the difference for people to say he's Tennessee? Is it just because they're saying he's visited there more? Because if he's kept it close to the vest, then I would expect him to be consistent and not come out and say Tennessee leads, because he has not said that. I know that.
No.
But it does seem like that's the consistent claim, is that, hey, we got to catch up with Tennessee. But why is that? Are people just saying that based off the visits or because of something else?
Personally, in my opinion, I think it's because everyone knows Tennessee will drop a bag in terms of NIL.
Okay.
Right? And they're going to present him with the biggest offer between the three schools. I do not think Team Up North is actually in this race. I think it's Tennessee, Ohio State, and UGA. And out of those three, we already know one is going to drop a bigger bag. But I'm hoping that Savion isn't short-sighted and realizes the power of Columbus itself. You're going to make more money if you perform on the field just off your own, not let alone what you're getting from Ohio State. And these NIL contracts are year to year. Like, you could renegotiate them each year. So hopefully he has the right people in his corner, which I do believe, because he's not leaking any information from his camp. That's pretty hard and unheard of to do in this day and age. So I think it's really, people are mentioning Tennessee because of NIL.
Well, the other thing is, this Tennessee thing did not happen until he last visited Tennessee. He has visited Tennessee one more time than he has visited any other school. And this Tennessee smoke started when he decided to go to that huge Tennessee recruiting weekend that they have every year.
With the
he
80%.
went there.
Yeah.
And right after that is when all this smoke blew up about him in Tennessee, combined with what Mello just said. And then you see this storm of these insiders. But no, based off of how he has handled this recruitment, he has not told anybody anything to give this. This is people not necessarily making the smoke up, because he did attend Tennessee, visit them like one more time than he has all his other schools. So that's when that smoke started picking up. And out of all those schools, Mello said it, Tennessee is willing to just, do whatever for David Sanders and Savion Hyder, and Ohio State's not. So,
right.
Oh,
yeah.
Moses, can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Can you pull up that Gio did it comment about Matt Patricia and Xavier Griffin? I want to address this real quick.
Yeah, let me find. You said the handle name is Gio did it?
Yeah, 42.
Whereas Matt Patricia, this one?
No, it's at the 702 timestamp.
Okay.
I'll just read it. It says Matt Patricia made a big impression on Xavier Griffin. Yep, that one. On Xavier Griffin. And more importantly, his mom. Will that help, Melo? I hope so. I believe it will help because, I mean, when people and recruits get around Matt Patricia, you realize how intelligent he is and that he legit use you and other players all in the same system. My thing is with this, because for me, I'm going to just make it flat out clear. Tyler Atkinson is head and shoulders better than every linebacker in America. So that has to be priority number one because he can literally do everything. He could cover your slot receivers and keep up with them. He could cover tight end with ease. He could fill gaps and stop the run. He could blitz off the edge. He could do everything, and he could read and react. He see ball, get ball. That's what they call him down here. See ball, get ball. They say is the definition of that. So he has to be priority number one. Now, can you get both of them and sincere? That's where it comes down to, like, because if it's me and I can only get two, I'm taking Tyler Atkinson and Sincere Johnson. That's just me personally. But would I love Xavier Griffin? Yes, he's a beast. He absolutely is, but so is Sincere. And Tyler Atkinson is just a notch above both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Xavier's
oh, go ahead.
Xavier's mom Twitter handle is at Bama Maid. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it changed or not. I just know for a fact he flat out told someone I know straight to their face, I'm staying in the South. I'm going to Bama or Texas. And that was before he went on his visit. Now, could that move the needle that much for the change? I don't know.
It might have. And my impression is it might have moved us to second place. I'm just keeping it real, right? Second place doesn't
can't get them all. I mean, we good regardless.
Never know.
Because like you said, Melo, I'm super good with Sincere and Atkinson. Like,
yeah,
what are we talking about here?
That might be the best linebacker haul in like 20 years for a class. I'm serious.
So it's like we're basically talking about, oh dang, we didn't get the Bentley, but we got the Bugatti. Like we're fine. But real quick about Matt Patricia, and it's funny, I still got fans on my page fighting me about how it was a terrible hire. And so, so far so good though. I mean, like rave reviews from Ryan Day, rave reviews from the players, and also the coaches like Laurinaitis, but they still want to hang on to, oh, well, just wait till the season starts. He'll surely bomb then. Like, what do you mean? The main concern, and I know we got to close out in a couple of minutes. I know this could be a whole nother pod, but the main concern with him was his attitude and how he came into the program. He's already showing that he's a different cat. So nobody in their right mind should be concerned about his smarts and his ability to coach ball and figure out how to properly use downs and Sonny Styles. Like, what are you talking about? So this dude is a rocket scientist. Y'all know that, right? He has his degree in aeronautical engineering, which is rocket science. Like, he's a smart, sharp, impressive dude. Very engaging. Go watch his podcast. So I can imagine the impression that he's making, and that's not even mentioning the Super Bowl rings. You feel me? So I don't know, man. I think we're going to be very impressed as we look back at this recruiting class of the haul that we bring in. And it's just funny because some people not too long ago was complaining about how we don't got nobody, and this recruiting class is kind of dragging. This recruiting class is going to be another great one, y'all. Top 5 at minimum. So buckle up. But anyway, so any last words before we hop off? We got like a minute. Kirk and Nevada need to hop on. But listen, this people keep saying this is a great show. Thank you. Listen, I enjoyed this. Look, me, Funky, Dev, Mello, we all talk. We're all boys. You know what I mean? Like outside of podcasts, like these are our brothers. And Funky will be back next week, and we may have to do a show with all 4 of us, man. Like we try to do before, Dev. But any last words I got, man?
Well, hey, pray for Funky, man. He's in the middle of taking some I think finals week. So pray for Funky with what he's got going on for sure. But Mello, go ahead. Sorry to mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, man. No, that's way more important. Definitely keep Funky in your prayers that he knocks these finals out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining the chat. I want to thank B Moses and salute him for bringing me and Dev on. I appreciate it. I had a blast. I'm looking forward to doing it again in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy. This in the YouTube world, people have become family, and B Moses and Mello and Funky and Kirk and Nevada. add them to that list of family, as well as several people in the chat. It's really cool, and it's actually real. But don't miss our show tomorrow at 6, man. If you like recruiting intel, I'm not sure where you could ask for a better source than the recruit himself. And Tuesday as well at 8:45 p.m. And we're working on getting the rest of the visitors on. I have messages out, so we'll see how many more. That's what we're going to try to do after officials. The week after, we're going to try to get all the official visitors on the Buckeye Boys so we can hear from them. We won't be able to get them all, but I mean, the number 1 tackle, number 5 player in the nation's a pretty good start. And I think the number 3 defensive end is a good start as well. I just want to remind people.
And when?
What?
Remind them who's coming on tomorrow and when.
Felix Ojo tomorrow at 6 and Jake Krull Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. And I'm going to leave everybody with this note, get everybody fired up. Larry Johnson signed 2 top 10 defensive ends last class. Okay, Mello. Or
you're starting to fight.
B. Moses, you could close this out now.
No, but he did. Like, let's stop playing. We're disrespecting LJ. He's the GOAT, man. Stop disrespecting the man.
Nah, he trash,
2
bro.
top 10 defensive
He
ends.
trash, bro. He trash, bro. That's Twitter right now. He trash. Man, shut up. All right. What up, Intrinsic? What up, brother? Hey, yeah, we're going to go ahead and hop off. This was a great show. Please, before you go, click like and subscribe to Buckeye Scoop channel if you haven't already done it. We love y'all. We will see y'all next Sunday. And go Bucks.